Well, thank you all very much. I'm from the Arlington Institute, which is a little think tank I started 35 years ago, which is now located in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, a little resort town in the Appalachian Mountains, about 100 miles from Washington and Baltimore. And we have at the Arlington Institute a number of programs that are all oriented toward this transition to this new world and this new human. And one of them is a program that we do every 2 weeks called What's Up? And Greg Braden comes and is a speaker at one of our series, which is called Transition Talks. Every month we have a speaker from somewhere that comes to talk about something important about the new emerging world and new ideas, new whatever. So I pick up the speakers at the airport that's 100 miles away, and I get 2 hours sitting in the car to talk to them. And so Greg and I have had these delightful, extraordinary kind of conversations over the years, going to the airport and away from the airport. And one day I said it'd really be interesting if people had a chance to see hear what we were talking about, because it's always really kind of fun. And so we started this this program, the show, if you will, called What's Up? And it's unscripted. We have no idea what we're going to talk about, and we're usually it's just Greg and me, but we've got a special guest, Penny Kelly, who does a lot of nice things with us at the Arlington Institute, and this goes for about a half an hour, and it's just you'll see, we'll see where it goes, and it'll be fun. You'll like it.
Thank you. Thanks, Rob. We're going to pass that mic.
All right. So where's the camera I'm supposed to look at?
Cameras are all over.
No. I need one to look at that you're going to. All right. Hello, my friends, and welcome to What's Up? It's so nice to have you with us. We're happy to get together like this, as we do every 2 weeks, with Greg Braden and myself, in a very unstructured kind of conversation about just whatever is on our mind. And we're joined this time with a very special guest, Penny Kelly. And we're not coming to you from Berkeley Springs. We're coming from TeslaTech in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a marvelous conference that highlights all some very advanced kind of ideas and things in terms of technology and healthcare and other kinds of stuff. So we have a studio audience, if you will. And so welcome, and we're thanks to do that. Hello, Greg. How are you, my friend?
This is my mic. I am doing really well, John. We're in New Mexico, so you're in my backyard. It's good to be here.
And Penny.
Hi, it's great to be here. So, let me say, we're going to get another microphone here. We're going to, no, it's not going to. We're just going to have to pass this around. So thank you both for being here. What's up, Greg? What have you been thinking about?
I've been thinking about where my mic is going to come from. That was the most immediate thought on my mind. No, we're here at TeslaTech. We are with people. I have a long history that goes back to mid-1980s, 85, 86, with this conference, of people who have dedicated their lives either professionally or have moved into it in retirement to continue to solve the mysteries of the universe, to unlock the secrets of our relationship between us and our world. And we have the opportunity now to come together in times like this. I just shared a presentation, so our live audience saw this, of the soft technology in the human body. And there's a really beautiful place where our most ancient and cherished traditions, indigenous traditions, spiritual traditions, this is where those places meet. Because our ancestors have told us about a way of being that helps us to have a better world, but they didn't know the science. And now the science is telling us about how the world works and how we interface with it, but the scientists don't know what to do with the information. So this is what we're talking about here today.
Yeah, well, both you and I have talked about in this transition, the need to kind of connect to nature. And that one of the integral parts of this extraordinary kind of shift that's going on is
are moving back to being able to talk to, engage with, and other kind of things of nature. And Penny, you do a bunch of things like that, right?
All sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to go exploring. I am a researcher. I research consciousness. And so as we explore nature, how much are we going to limit ourselves?
Yeah, but you've written these books about. Penny's a psychic, and then has a Kundalini experience and all these things, and she sees things nobody else sees, and so she's this marvelous resource in that regard. But you've written about being able to see these elves in your. Yeah.
There are dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of different forms of intelligence that are available for us to see. If you can expand your consciousness so that you can see a bigger range of light, you can begin to see other beings. So I see lights around people. You know, people are, when your lights go out, you're done. So when you have an expansive consciousness, you have access to other information. So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when are we going to get off the planet?
Can I say something? Get off the planet?
Get off the planet.
When are we going to get off the planet? Why would you want to? That would be my answer, because what we're doing here, and I have this conversation with a lot of people, Penny, who just want out. They just
I don't want out.
I know.
I just want to go home.
I know. I understand what you're saying. But the world that John just gave us a beautiful presentation of a world that's possible. And this is where all of this comes together. We're building a new world. You all can feel that, right? There's a new world coming, right? You feel that? But it's not quite here yet because we haven't finished building it. We're building it now. There's an old world that is buckling at the seams because it's unsustainable. And we're in that world right now. The kinds of things that we're talking about, the capabilities that Penny is talking about, what John was saying, those are the capabilities, I think, that will be the earmark of the new world. We will be a fully enabled, fully capacitated human. I don't know everybody in this room. I don't know everybody on the stream. But I bet I know something about all of you. And I bet I know this. That new world that we're building, we don't want to build that world on the fear and the hate and the suffering that we all have lived through in the 20th century. We don't want that world for our children. This generation is where we have the opportunity for generational healing, to build the foundation of that new world. And I have young people say to me, well, I'm not going to have a baby, so I can't pass that healing on. You don't have to do it through a physical being. That healing, every time we heal within us, we become the bridge in the field to make it easier for the next and the next. So I think that is a process that has to happen, John. And I think that has to happen. It is happening right now. It's the reason I think that we didn't just jump into a new world. I think there's a process that's unfolding. And Penny, I get what you're saying 100%. I'm going to let you talk about going home.
Well, I want to not just leave. I want to go home and come back. I want to be able to go back and forth. And that's really the goal, the exploration. We are responsible for keeping life going. I don't think people understand that. And so that we humans, all sorts of different kinds of humans, get together and we move around the cosmos and we map different parts of the cosmos and what kind of life might succeed there. And here we are, we're a part of a really wonderful success that's on the verge of making a big step or crashing. And I want to see that big step.
What I think, maybe you all see this as well, and John and I have talked about this a lot. I think right now, the transition that John just described, I think there's two parallel societies that are emerging. right now. There's one society that is all in on all of the new tech, on AI replacing humans, transhumanism, and all of that. And then there's another segment. When I go to my little co-op up in Taos, New Mexico, to buy my groceries, they don't know what we're talking about here, but here's what they say. They say the world's changing too fast. We're not making the decisions. They're being made for us. We need to get back to basics. We need to get back to nature. We need to grow our own food, pull our kids out of public schools, teach them at home the values that we want them to have. And that is and learn how to heal ourselves, learn to take care of ourselves. Those two things are happening at the same time. And I think what's going to happen, I think we'll do what humans always do. I think we're going to follow those two paths for a short period of time, and we're going to check each other out. And we're going to say who's happier, who's healthier,
Right.
who is more fulfilled in life. And the answer to that question will probably be something in between. We'll have technology, but we won't become the technology.
So this is really interesting because, you know, if you, yeah, you said something interesting. Yeah. So we're into this tension, right? And some want to go into the technology, and the other ones want to go to the past. They want to go back to something that's comfortable, make America great again, right? And I don't mean, stop just a second. That was the end of my speech, by the way. And so the interesting thing that arises is, are we confused by this kind of intrinsic kind of feeling that we need to go back to those things that worked in the past? Or is this reality necessarily something fundamentally different? It may not be the technology, but is it so different that we've got to kind of walk away from this kind of notion of families as they used to be, education as we wanted it to be, and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, God, you added 6 more things at the end there. One of the things I started to say, Greg, this was Greg's fault. It really is important for us to embrace technology. I love technology, love it. But we can't have bad people running the technology. So where I come from, we use technology to enhance ourselves at times, to do all kinds of things, and there's no bad outcomes about it. Oh, 5 minutes?
No, can't be.
Okay. Okay, and the second thing, you know, regarding different, going back, we have to understand that Mother Nature has all the secrets. And once you start cutting yourself off from Mother Nature, you don't have access to the magic secrets that will allow us to develop the technology to move around the cosmos, meet our neighbors, and become part of a larger society, a bigger family.
Just let me, I need to defend myself here because I said make America great again, and some of you didn't understand what I was meaning. And what I was meaning is I would like to make America great again, but it may not be at all like what it used to be, and it may be great in quite a different kind of configuration, and that's the kind of interesting thing to be able to anticipate and drive toward.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear anything different than that, John. But this is where this conversation, I mean, this is important because our young people, and some of you, let me ask, how many of you are parents right now? How many are grandparents? Okay? Your kids, if they're in public school, they are being given no reason to honor and cherish the gift of their human bodies. They're being told that they are flawed by nature, by being a carbon-based being, that they are flawed, and that their humanness, there's nothing about their humanness to be respected. It's through our humanness that we access nature in the way that we do, through our human, the soft technology of our humanness, interfacing with the world around us. So our young people are being given no reason to love and respect and to cherish and preserve the gift of their bodies, just the opposite. When I talk to young people that come to our programs, first of all, they are so disillusioned by the world, they don't even see a future. And because they don't see a future, they don't care what they do to their bodies in the present. They're not thinking about 20 or 30 years down the road. They don't think there's going to be a world there. And I think it's very sad. When I was a kid, we always looked to the future. We didn't know what was going to be, but we knew that there was going to be a future there. And that the science and the technology would open the new doors. The young people today have a very, very different worldview, and I think we owe it to our children and our grandchildren to at least tell them, give them a hint of what it means to be human before we give ourselves away to the technology. Once we give our humanness away to AI, to synthetics, to artificial immune responses, once we do that, our bodies begin to atrophy those attributes, and we won't ever get those back. We owe it to ourselves to know what it means to be human before we give our humanness away. And I think it's a powerful message to give to our young people as well.
Yeah, I would agree. And even though, some of my people have been picking up people and taking samples of their DNA, freaking out a few people here and there, in order to restore us in case we make all the wrong choices, we still have to make those choices one way or another and learn from those. So I think we're at such a turning point.
Well, yeah, it's what... What's happening is that there are these escalating levels of events that are forcing us to make decisions and learn things that we've never learned before, and it only gets worse, right? Because we're trying to get to another level, and we got to keep taking these steps up here, and those steps are our response to discontinuities and uncertainties and, events that are happening in world wars. Who knows what it all is going to be. And so this is all part of the process. This is all an integral part of the evolutionary kind of process. This is not stupid politicians who are trying to blow up the world. This is really, this is something bigger and better for that.
It's a test.
Sure, it's a test.
It's a big test for us. You have to choose. You can't drift. And I don't know if some of you are, familiar or remember Alan Watts. He said something that I just loved. In the same way that the ocean waves, the earth peoples. We cannot cut ourselves off from nature. And that was part of the message that I got from some of the beings who came around to help me after Kundalini. They said, if you do not reconnect with Mother Nature, you will not survive. You are part of nature. Don't cut yourself off from what created you, what sustains you, what gives you what you call your humanness. And I think we need to remember that. We are part of the whole system, and we are designed to unfold. And Kundalini is stark evidence of that. It can go wrong, yes, it's dangerous, but when it goes right, we end up with magnificent beings. And people are designed, every one of us, to unfold, to become much more like an acorn. You put that acorn in the ground, you give it some water, and you give it a little time, it swells, and then it becomes an oak tree. And that's pretty much how we are designed. We're designed to unfold. There are stages of that unfolding. And we end up with beautiful people creating beautiful worlds. You were talking about somebody, or maybe it was you, terraforming? Yeah. That's, you make your world. Every species, how would I say it, makes its niche. So...
we got 4 more minutes now.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what we're about here, is making a new world by becoming a new human. And when you become a new human, then you see the world in a different way. You have different values, different presumptions, and different, just expanded awareness. And so that then you necessarily, naturally, would make different institutions and different rules and other kind of things. And if you couple that up with things like telepathy, then suddenly you're reading people's minds, and you don't, you get rid of advertising and politics and other kinds of stuff, because now you know what people are thinking. So, I mean, this is a space that we're going into that is really, really different.
And I have to add this. Yes, we cannot have a new world if we don't become new humans, because we create based on what our consciousness is doing. Yeah. You can't create something else. You can't get a new world with the same old consciousness. Right. So we need to become new humans.
Yeah, I just want to echo. We're
okay.
We're on the same track here, but I think this is the answer to why so much of your technology has been repressed, because you're ahead of your time. And you need to be.
Ahead of your consciousness.
Ahead of your consciousness.
Yeah.
We need to have those answers when we're ready for them. You don't want to wait until the day you say, okay, we're ready for some new tech. What's out there? And everybody starts scrambling. We need to have it out there now. But this is why conferences like this are important. The world will always reflect our story. Our story is the way we think of ourselves in relationship to the world. If we see ourselves as separate from and dominating the world, then the technology is going to reflect that. If we see ourselves as part of the world, an integral part of the world, then of course our energy systems are going to reflect that. Our healing systems will reflect that. So part of what you're experiencing, you're so far ahead of your consciousness, is that you are offering new information, new technology within the context of a world that is now still thinking the way that they've been thinking for a century, or longer. So they're cutting us off. I just want to say thank you all. Good night.
You're ahead of your consciousness, and we're out of time. Yeah. So thank you all both for being a part of this, and thank all of you and our audience. And this comes to you from the Arlington Institute, where we hold forth at arlingtoninstitute.org. We've got all kinds of different things that all about this facilitating this transition to a new world. And so we thank you for being with us, and we'll be back again in